At the end of season 1 of The Punisher, we saw Frank Castle get his vengeance for his family, having killed most of the people responsible for their deaths and disfiguring Ben Barnes Billy Russo, his ex-best friend who betrayed him. It was pretty darn brutal. Frank begins season 2 with a fresh slate thanks to the FBI, and up until now fans have been speculating, or have just been confused, about how his story will continue. But now, with the release date soon on the horizon for season 2, we finally have a trailer that gives us a hint as to what to expect. Let's break it down.
Trust me, I know. A friend of mine betrayed me.
The trailer opens with Frank Castle speaking to a young woman named Amy Bendix, who's played by Georgia Wigham. Frank, up until now, had been pursuing a significantly quieter life out on the road, but ends up becoming involved with Amy when he runs into her in need at a bar called Lila's Roadhouse. She's being assaulted when Frank steps in, and he beats down on her assailants. All while we hear Amy off screen saying that he was happy for the excuse to get involved, and of course get bloody. Frank then asks Amy who those people were, and she claims to not know, so he calls her out for hiding something. Amy then tells him that they've killed everyone she's ever cared about, a sentiment that Frank can easily understand. We then get flashbacks of Frank with Billy Russo, when they were friends, and where they had left off in the previous season with Frank disfiguring his face. From there, the trailer cuts to Russo's voiceover and a shot of a facility, with him stating that he's dreamt about the Punisher every night. We then get a series of shots of Russo back out into the world, carrying around a whole lot of hatred for Frank, and being approached by a new villain, John Pilgrim, who states that they have a mutual acquaintance. Pilgrim hires him to go after Frank and Amy. Russo has a new little gang of his too, all wearing masks. It's a small army that we see Frank going up against, getting the crap beaten out of him and also beating the crap back out of them. After some more action-packed visuals, the trailer ends off on a funny beat between Frank and Amy and some blood-covered money. So who exactly is Amy Bendix? Well, in the comics, her character helped Castle when he was in need, nursing him back to health when he was on the run in 1994's Punisher Warzone issue 24. But her father, the county sheriff, then discovers this, and so he imprisons Frank. This catches the attention of a group of assassins who then kidnap Amy and take her hostage in order to get to Castle. Her father releases Frank so that he can go rescue Amy, and then be on his way. In the show though, we've been given a bit of a different Amy, with her being a street-smart grifter rather than a small-town naive girl with a mental disorder. Bit of a jump. She also has a mysterious past, something that has to do with our new villain, but more on that in a bit. Billy Russo, Castle's old best friend who betrayed him, was prominently featured in the trailer, and is now embracing his villainous ways as Jigsaw to the fullest. He's holding a grudge against Frank and has now gotten himself a small army of goons who wear masks, something that has clearly given law enforcement a run for their money recently. While we don't get to see the fully formed Jigsaw clash with the Punisher in this trailer, just Frank fighting off against his thugs, we do have an idea of what may go down. In the comics, after Frank has scarred Russo's face, Jigsaw attempts to frame the Punisher for murder. Now that plan failed thanks to Spider-Man, but afterwards Jigsaw sets his sight on Frank again, this time with a plan to drug the Punisher, causing him to act erratically and senselessly, something that if it happened in the show would, ruin his clean slate with the FBI. Now there's been countless other occasions where the two have clashed in the comics after 2, so it's hard to say if there's a specific storyline that the show will borrow from the comics in this season concerning the villain's character.
We have a mutual acquaintance.
I want Castle and the girl.
Actor Josh Stewart plays the new bad guy on the block this season, John Pilgrim, who doesn't have any direct ties to the comics, although some believe he may be a version of the character called the Mennonite who appeared in a handful of issues in 2010's Punisher Max. He's a hardcore Christian fundamentalist, if the outfit didn't give that away. And Stewart, while being quite tight-lipped, has stated that the character is a very all-or-nothing kind of guy, who is very by the book. Unlike Jigsaw, it's unclear what Pilgrim's motivation is and why he's hunting down Amy. Frank helping Amy at the beginning of the season in that bar could likely be the reason why Pilgrim wants Castle gone too, merely thanks to association and the fact that he is now protecting her. So what could this all mean? Well, one of the popular fan theories about season 2 of The Punisher was that it would be adapting Garth Ennis's 2005 arc, The Slavers, which involved Frank crossing paths with the Nucci crime family, the crime family that many believe Amy's mysterious past has ties to. Now the first episode of season 1 of The Punisher Punisher showed Frank helping out a friend by killing members of that very crime family during a poker game, which led people to believe that the Slavers story arc, which involves them, would be the direction that the second season would go in. Now based on this new trailer, that doesn't seem to be the case per se, unless John Pilgrim has some sort of larger connection that we don't know about yet. All in all, the trailer didn't give us too much in terms of connections to all of the different plot points. It was pretty straightforward, but you know, we're banking on the fact that it's going to be a bit more complex than that. Now the second season of The Punisher is set to be released on Netflix on January 18th. What are your theories about the second season? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts. How does all this connect? We'd love to hear it. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and share it with a friend. We've also got a ton of other MCU videos just waiting for you to watch, flashing in the playlist currently on your screen. In the meantime though, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you all in the next video.